thing on? Okay. I'm Destiny Pinder Buckley, and I have just stolen this super secret briefcase from the Lincoln Douglas headquarters. I have no idea what lies within, and I may die. So, before I open this mysterious briefcase, I'm first going to tell you everything I know about Lincoln Douglas cross-examination. Keep in mind that the main focus of Lincoln Douglas is more of a moral debate, and that you're going to be using more philosophy and theories instead of actual facts and statistics, such as public forum. So if you go into the crossfire and try to ask a whole bunch of questions that will let you bring up all these statistics and whatnot, it's not exactly always going to work out into your favor. Okay, so first, for you to fully understand how Lincoln Douglas crossfire works, you're going to have quite a good understanding of how Lincoln Douglas overall works. So I'm going to briefly go over this. Key terms that you should definitely know because they have to be included in your case are value and criterion. Now this is completely different from public forum, but you will see that it's kind of similar to a framework. So if we look to the value, it's essentially the paramount thing that the judge needs to vote for. Examples include human dignity, quality of life, justice, something along that lines. And your criterion is how you will achieve that value. This is usually where a lot of the philosophy theory comes into play. So you will normally see things like John Locke's natural rights, utilitarianism, deontology. You could probably even argue the Bermuda Triangle. Now, the second most important thing to know about Lincoln Douglas crossfire and Lincoln Douglas in general is the timing of the round and how much time you have. And you only have 3 minutes in the entire round to ask your opponent questions. So in the entire round, this is what it's going to look like. The affirmative always goes first. Then the negative asks questions about the affirmative's case. Then the negative will give their case, and then the affirmative may ask questions on the case. But if we look at the LD ballot here, they actually have a certain spot just for cross-examination. So it is looked at a bit more in Lincoln Douglas, and this is for a good reason. First, you can actually learn a lot about your opponent's case through the questions they ask you in the crossfire, mostly when you're affirmative and you're the first one that speaks. Because sometimes when the negative asks questions, they actually know they can change up their value and criterion depending on whatever they get as answers from you. So you always have to be very careful when you are answering as the affirmative. Now, of course, you have to be careful when you're answering as the negative as well, as to not to concede to some philosophy or theory that you don't really want to be brought into the round or that can be used against you. It's paramount to remember how different Lincoln Douglas cross-examination is from public forum crossfire. First, the main thing about Lincoln Douglas is that only one person asks questions and then the other person answers. Now, I explained that through the time schedule how that works, but you need to keep in mind that when you're the person that is supposed to be answering, you cannot ask questions back. So it's also, it's very important to keep track of what they're asking you because that can give away huge hints, and this way you can kind of be prepared and flow a bit better when it comes to these things overall in the round. Now that I've shared with you all the secrets I know about Lincoln Douglas cross-examination, I think it's time that we open the mysterious briefcase that I stole from the Lincoln Douglas headquarters and not the abandoned office in my house.